She calls me crying, saying she got robbed. She says she was sitting in traffic. Her windows were down because the AC was tripping, and a moto pulled up, reached in and grabbed her purse. This is what she tells me. So I sent her money. What up, what up, what up? What's happening? Que lo que miente. Welcome to Love, Purpose, and Passports. Hope all is well and all the passport ready, or passport getting ready. For those of you that don't know, I am Mr. Pro for You, living in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Let's get right to it. A lot of what I wanted to pass on to you in the last video about getting played was more about your mindset than your actions. Yeah, there's certain do's and don'ts, but those are the ABCs. Once you know not to do it, don't do it. I remember when I was a pipsqueak, there was this thing your parents told you about putting a fork in the light socket. This was before those cute little socket blockers were invented. This was before those little baby fences were invented. You know, the good old days. So if you did it anyway, while your parents were busy not paying attention to you, you got shocked. You knew not to do that again. You may have even gotten a whooping just to make sure you remembered not to do it again. Simple. And some of the earliest instruction I can remember, and some of the earliest consequences I can remember. So as I was saying, the do's and don'ts are important, but your mindset is the real focus. It's like a drill. If she does things she shouldn't be doing, she lowers her value. If she tricked you or lied to you, don't look at it like she played you. You're a good man. She didn't play you, she played herself. If she cheats, she didn't play you. She just confirmed that she's low-hanging fruit. That's not hard to understand. It may be hard to accept, but it's not hard to understand. This is why they say the truth hurts. Sometimes. But what's also said is the truth will set you free. But you have to know what to do with the truth once you receive it, how to process it. Some of you have been processing it like you're being poisoned instead of enlightened. How can somebody showing you that they're of a lower echelon be a smudge on your character or your pride? She snuck in with a fake ID. See, we gotta have a little grace for the men who get caught in situations doing the right thing for the wrong woman. Now, granted, there are the men who specialize in doing the right things for the wrong women. We leave them to their own folly. But the reason it's so important to adjust your mindset and thought process when it comes to dealing with women who turned out to be fraudulent or deceitful is because when you don't, meaning when you let each one of these bad circumstances be seen to you as you got played, taken advantage of, scammed, got done wrong, if you see every situation as if it did damage or harmed you in any way, you're creating your own baggage. You guys probably haven't even noticed that it's gotten so bad because of social media that guys are running around here loaded up with other men's baggage damage. Didn't even happen to them, but they've mentally and emotionally bonded with it. Somebody else's story that's not even the whole story. If you see every situation as if it did damage to you or harmed you in any way, you're creating your own baggage. The same baggage we say ruins women as they get older. You guys probably haven't even noticed that it's gotten so bad because of social media that guys are running around here loaded up with other men's baggage. Didn't even happen to them, but they've mentally and emotionally bonded with it. Somebody else's story that's not even the whole story. You always see them running around in the comment section, the trauma zombies, looking for some brains to gnaw on so they can turn that person into one of them. This is why you gotta delete the victim files. In the dating and relationship game, you win some, you lose some. You didn't get played. You just got outplayed by an imposter. If you're a good man, a woman of bad character is beneath you. Keep it moving. Losing you was already one of the many consequences they have coming in life. Some of you are too young to be accumulating baggage like this. Delete the victim files. I also mentioned in the last video to safeguard yourself by not giving her more than you can peacefully walk away from if it goes bad. Even the Bible says, guard your hearts and minds. This leads to the next issue that has a way of overriding all the do's and don'ts. And as men, we don't talk about it that much. You fell in love. I know why, and I plan on doing a video on that soon. But you're falling in love with a woman who hasn't fallen in love with you most of the time. This is where a lot of damage is done. You know why? Biologically, you can't even control that. And here's something you probably never heard before about that. Biologically, falling in love can last anywhere from a year to a year and a half. What? This is science. A year to a year and a half of your best judgment being compromised. Imagine your alarm system being on the blink for that long. This is why the prescription of taking it slow is so important. Falling in love tends to have you speed up on everything. Moving fast is literally your enemy. So taking this knowledge that falling in love can last from a year to a year and a half or longer, you can now go into all relationships knowing that you should not be making any big decisions or commitments for at least that long, no matter what you try to convince yourself during that time. That doesn't sound unreasonable, does it? Doesn't it seem like most of the problems that could have been avoided happened in that time period? Makes sense. One last thing that should be brought up that I've mentioned in several of my older videos. You should be doing the choosing. The only men that live by the being chose model are pimps and players. Shout out to Too Short and Drew Down. But you're neither. You're a relationship man. You do the vetting, so you do the choosing. When she chooses you, that puts you in the position of being a part of her plan. No, you're choosing her as the best fit for being in your life. When she chooses you, you have a greater possibility of being the mark. And when I say you do the choosing, I said choosing, not chasing. Choosing based on you vetting, not being flattered by how good you look and feel with this beautiful woman who's doing all the things you like. Choosing, not chasing. When you're chasing, you're not even establishing your position to be leading, because if you're chasing her, what are you doing? You're following her, running behind her at a fast pace. You've already been positioned. Next, you'll be wondering why you're fighting to change the dynamic. Now let me be clear. When I say you do the choosing, I'm not saying a woman that shows interest in you first or speaks to you first is a red flag. It can be genuine interest in you. The question is, as the relationship advances, did you choose her based on your vetting process giving it the green light? Or is it advancing because she swept you off your feet? If it's the latter, she chose you and you accepted, instead of you choosing her and her accepting. Since we're here, let me build a little bit on choosing, because some of the sharp relationship brothers may ask, if we don't know when this 12 to 18 months starts, because we don't, how are we supposed to navigate around it? That's a good question. So let's talk about it. Choosing sounds like a one-time thing, but we're really going to break it up into 3 stages of choosing. The first one, choosing a woman worthy of consideration. This is the one you got to get right before anything else, because this is the one that happens before there's even a chance of being smitten. Except for you love at first sight, brethren. This is your vetting at work. Is she even in the category of woman that should have access to you? You're able to do this using your best judgment and standards, the ones that don't allow just any type of woman in your space, in case you fall for her. As a relationship man, when you don't stand on your judgment and standards at all times, when it comes to allowing a woman in your space, when you do that, you've allowed a stray in. Next thing you know, you catch a stray. The second one, choosing for commitment. When I say commitment, I mean you're ready for that next level boyfriend and girlfriend commitment. This is the one that usually happens inside the fall in love fog. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a dangerous stage because commitment feels easy here. You feel good, she feels good, everything's flowing. So commitment doesn't even feel like a decision. It feels like the heaven that needs to happen. That's exactly why you don't make big moves and decisions here. and have guardrails already in place before you get here, like being disciplined with how you issue out your money and disciplined with slow pacing the relationship. Commitment isn't bad. And it's not even that she's bad. It's that your judgment is compromised and your decision making is a little off and maybe even a lot off. The third, choosing for long-term relationship or marriage. This is the big step. I don't think we need to go into detail about this being the move you make third if that's your goal. You've had time for your decision to be strictly from your vetting results. Now you're not choosing for falling in love. You're choosing off a track record, how she carried herself through the first two stages. Did she respect your pace or did she push it? This is the choice you make with clear eyes because by now you've had time to see her in action, not just feel her. So even though you're not in control of the biology of falling in love, you can control making sure you're not choosing and falling for strays by choosing women within the boundaries of your standards at all times. That doesn't guarantee relationship success, but it does guarantee that it's in your hands not to be in the position to accidentally fall for a random chick who had the bing, bing, bang. Love, purpose, and passports. Peace.